It means a lot to have this opportunity to race full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
We're reaching a community that needs to be transformed in terms of unlocking their mental potential with this opportunity with EPM.
The American gift is right here. It's embodied in this opportunity. It's embodied in all of us. It's not a dream, it's an opportunity. This is America, and everything is possible.
I'm just super happy and proud to be part of this whole team and this organization and everything we're going to do from here on out.
When you put that combination of talent, hard work, and opportunity together, it lends itself to be something great. And I look forward to seeing what it matures to.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody out there. Very grateful that we get to do this, we get to have fun, and more importantly, that we're all going to make a difference together. Thank you so much. The EPM mission reads that we are a resource and voice for financial empowerment. The EPM vision, which is connected to the EPM way, is to continue to offer financial service, communication, and assistance to the communities we serve.
What makes us different is our loan officers. They care about the people. Our number one message in this company is the customer. Always do everything you can for that customer.
We as a staff work together as a team, and we also on one page, one goal, to know that the end goal is the other person, which is the home buyer.
The big thing that we want to do is provide financial empowerment to our consumers. The ramifications of not owning versus owning is very vast. So it's really about maximizing your earning potential to build wealth.
Our diversity, it's a large part of what sets us apart. And the way we look at business with an empathic approach, We do care.
I have grown up here. I've pretty much done almost every position here and have just grown and learned throughout the 10 years and been given tons of opportunity to advance. I can't tell you how much this place means to me.
My favorite part of EPM is the relationships that we build. I mean, I see my coworkers more than I even see my family throughout the week. So it's important that we have that relationship with each other. I know that I'm going to work hard with my coworkers, but I also know that I'm going to be able to have a fun time with them.
When you join EPM, it's like you're gaining a huge, giant family. The people here are just funny and amazing.
The 23 Fundamentals, or the EPM Way, is our new culture plan. They are led by great communication, ethics, morals. All in all, they make us better. They make us EPM. The idea of work and home is truly been blurred. So when our culture plan was created, we wanted to transcend just being in the office.
It's really about being a brotherhood, a sisterhood, but it's still all about one mission and one objective, is to make sure that we're not only leading to financial empowerment, but we're growing our communities, we're serving our communities, we're growing our individuals.
Most of the loans we're doing are for families. It's the biggest investment in their lives.
For me to know that every little part that goes into the end goal of home ownership makes a difference, and we're playing a big part of that for that prospective home buyer to have their future home.
There's certain programs that not every lender offers, and we try to offer as many of those programs as possible so anybody could kind of fit the mold with a program that we have and offer that to them, so then they could get that purchase done and own a home.
You know, the gold standard is treat somebody how you would want to be treated. I think that's the way people would want to be treated best. They want to make sure that somebody's looking out for their best interest, not yours, not the company, not the industry. So you definitely got to put yourself in their shoes and empathize and make sure you're looking and more importantly, listening very, very generously to what they're saying and what they're trying to accomplish.
It feels amazing to know that my team and I were able to contribute to a prospective buyer having their home. And for that home buyer to finally walk into the doors and have their home is just amazing, and we contributed to that.
It gives you a sense of pride in what we're doing here and gratitude to be able to help out those people get things and achieve their goals as well.
A lot of people talk about care, and the only way to truly care is through showing action and showing what you're doing for them in that moment.
We're able to help people to achieve the American dream, which is home ownership. But it's not just home ownership. That's your home. That's your family. So generations can be there just by one impactful movement that we do.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good 4 o'clock in the morning to everyone watching around the world. If you're tuning in today, thanks so much for joining us here for today's Alpha Cup main event. Joining me in the booth today, Tatiana Noel for the first time. Tatiana coming to us live from Atlanta, Georgia. I am in a very nice hotel room over in Austin, Texas. Was out here this weekend for the NASCAR event here at COTA, and basically bringing you the broadcast from the hotel room while so much is going on around us. Want to thank our sponsor for this event, as always, Equity Prime Mortgage, empowering more people. If you are looking for a mortgage, you can find them at epm.net, and they will be more than happy to take care of you. Thanks so much to them for coming on board with us so long ago and allowing us to do what we do here at the ERA and bring you guys some amazing racing action with amazing drivers, incredible fans. Thanks to everyone tuning in. We are live right now on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch channels. Introducing Tatiana Noel. I just gave her a we had a very long talk before the event started, and I tried to basically say, try to not say the ums and the ahs, and I've already caught myself doing it twice. So it's going to happen, Tatiana. There's no way around it. I'm going to turn it over to you. So the first thing you're going to do on air with us at the eRacing Association is run down that driver list for Tatiana. Has a very large Gran Turismo sport background. We're live on track right now. Qualifying is underway. Less than 8 minutes left in the qualifying session to set the grid today. Tatiana, first off, welcome. Second, have at it. Let us know who's on track with us today.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate you. Hey, everyone. I'm kind of a troll. I thought about starting this by just saying, but I won't do that. It happens. Rundown on who's on track. I'm looking at Twitchy, who took the first spot from Campsio about 2 laps ago, actually. Second driver is SRC Campsio GT. I hope I'm saying that right. In third so far, we got ERS Snykor 11, I believe. Syncor, you're right. The Y is in front of the N. I believe they just jumped up to third as well. Saw them set a new time. NXGN Herocram in fourth. SRC Angelov so far running in fifth in the Corvette. I love the Corvette around here. It's fun. Legion 21 looks like there was Team CCSR in the WRX running in sixth right now. Hatterlad in seventh in a cool M&M Beetle. That's awesome. Ace Rio, a name I'm familiar with. He has parked it. He's happy with 8th place. He's going to sit there in that vet. Red Spectre 3 in three Corvettes so far. Sitting in 9th place right now. The Audio Muted is in 10th. I like that name.
Is that the best? They joined yesterday, and as soon as they jumped in to chat for the drivers meeting yesterday, it's one of the first things I mentioned, the Audio Muted. I don't know why that screen name makes me smile so much. It just does. It seems like it does the same thing for you.
It does. I hadn't even seen it before. So that's pretty funny. And then I think that's the end. Yeah, rounding out the order is Chrism in 11th place so far. So 11 drivers on track, a pretty diverse field. I mean, we got V8s, we've got flat fours, we've got engines that don't really exist. What's in the Beetle? I don't know what's in the Beetle concept.
Well,
I'm guessing it's turbo four.
If it's anything like the real life car, it's either a 1.8T or a 2-liter turbo. It's got to be a 4-cylinder of some kind, unless they've gone with a really odd approach, which would be the VR6 that's in the RSI, I think is what that was. There's a VR6 version of the Beetle that was released really early on in the new Beetle production that I want. I used to race a Turbo S Beetle. I love those cars. I have a very, very soft spot for Volkswagens, and the Beetle is definitely at the center of that soft spot. That's a cool car.
I love that. That is a cool car. And this, racing version just for Gran Turismo Sport is awesome too. It is a turbo, so I'm gonna guess a 4-liter. Oh, sorry, a 4-cylinder.
It'd be cool if it was a 4-liter. I'd take a 4-liter VR6 turbo Beetle. I'll take that all day long.
That sounds very much straight line car to me, and we're here for road racing, Sean. We're Laguna Seca. The longest straight is what, half a mile long, maybe?
It's about a half a mile.
Half a mile.
Front stretch here is The front stretch here is very long, comes off a very low-speed corner for that final corner. Typically, it's a second-gear corner, no matter what you're driving. Some cars actually want to go down to first gear. Whoa! And we're on board with Red Spectre, getting it a little wrong coming up the hill to the corkscrew there. That was almost a problem, but I think Red gathered that up.
But then
digging.
Ooh, still happened
there. Red's still. There's still some issues going on with Red. Going back to the front stretch. Low speed corner coming off onto the front stretch, leading to what I feel, and I've actually been very fortunate to have done some events, and I've actually raced here a couple times in real life. The biggest pucker-inducing corner on this track in the real world is exactly what we're looking at right now. That Beetle going up and over that rise on the front stretch. As you crest that hill, if you are in anything carrying decent speed, especially in the real world, in a sim, not quite as much, but in the real world, your brain is telling you you are going to run out of track to driver's right as you crest that hill. If you crest it with any meaningful speed, you can't see it, completely blind. If you're in anything going 120, 130, 140 mile an hour by the time you go over that rise, your brain's screaming at you, you're not going to make this, even though you know you are. It's one of the most interesting corners on this track in my mind. Everybody is always talking about the corkscrew. It's iconic, it's unbelievable, it's amazing. After you drive it about 3 times in real life, it's okay, I get to the right as I crest the hill at the top, I turn in, and then it's a non-event. It really, right there, the corkscrew. It's iconic and it's amazing, and a lot of amazing things have happened in that turn over the year in the real world, but
Alex Zanardi, that bad.
Yeah. Once you drive it a couple times in the real world, though, it's like, okay, it's another corner. It's another corner. The front
I can't
to me
fathom hitting. Sorry, I was gonna say I can't fathom hitting that rise going like 140 in any, because you mentioned that last corner is a very low speed corner. Like the front stretch is a drag race and it's uphill at that. So to hit 140 by the crest, I'm scared. I'm scared to think about it.
It can. Oh yeah. And I mean, obviously in IndyCar or anything that's truly shot out of a cannon coming off a low speed corner, you're hitting it a lot more than 140.
Sure.
But you also have the aero engaged, and it's just a lot of fun. This track is a lot of fun. It flows really well. It's a rhythm course. You can sink into that flow state with about a lap or 2 for me it takes to really get into that flow state, and it's a lot of fun. I've got our producers in my ear. I want to know what Ryan has to say here. We've got less than 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session, so I'll let Tatiana give a rundown on the qualifying order as it stands right now. As soon as this is over, we go right into the main event, y'all. 1 hour of racing here at Laguna Seca.
Sure thing. We got a minute and a half left to quali, so this still can change, but it hasn't changed much from the last time I called it out. So got Twitchy up front. He's parked it. Camcio in second, Syncor in third, Angelov in fourth. In fifth, we've got Hero Crime, Legions in sixth, with Hatterlad just behind in seventh by 0.074, not far at all. Eighth is Red Spectre. Ace Rio's in ninth. Looks like he's gone back out on track, I think, because he lost the position. He's trying to get that back. Chrism has parked it in 10th, and the audio muted is in 11th place right now. Again, we've still got some time. We got 55 seconds, and looking at the map, we have plenty of people still going around and have yet to cross that start-finish line. So, don't sleep. I might have to recall this order again. Hatterlad just crossed it. Does not. Well, he improves, but I don't think. Did he move up? He's in 6th now. What position did I call him in before? I don't remember. I've already forgotten, but he definitely just set a new time. A 1:19.697 to Twitchy's 1:19.188 way up front there. And I think I see another person about to cross this line. No new time set though, so no increase there. And Angelov also about to cross the line. Does he improve? No improvement for Angelov either. Who else?
Session ticking down, just about over here. Cars out on track have a chance, I believe, to come across that finish line about 90 seconds before we start the main event. I think we're looking at the qualifying order for this running of the Alpha Cup. I believe that's about where it's going to shake out. And a 119 on softs around here, that's moving. Yesterday we were seeing some 118s, I believe, and that was on super softs.
I was doing 122s by myself on softs. I'm very rusty, and this is a very fast lobby. Ooh, Angelov off in the last chance to improve from fourth. Just went off track. Is that turn 6? The left just before the corkscrew. Yes, because corkscrew's what, 7, 8, and 9?
Yep, corkscrew 7, 8, 9. I'm a little rusty on corner numbers for this track. Even though I've run on it a couple times, I'm still a little rusty on corner numbers. And then out here at COTA, I didn't know corner numbers at all. It's COTA. There's like 53 corners.
Right. It's a Herman Tilke track. Many corners.
It is busy. Busy.
That's the end of quali.
That's the end of quali. We're about to start our main event. Producer, please produce. We're about ready to get this thing started, and we are going to have an hour's worth of racing here. Lots of tire wear, lots of fuel consumption turned on. We will see some pit stops. They will be green flag pit stops, obviously. We've seen it in the past Alpha Cup events. That has shaken up the field quite a bit. Tatiana, you're used to watching Rio and a couple of these folks race. Mm-hmm. You know as well as we do, Ace Rio has won a couple of our Alpha Cup events so far. Ace is one of the best that I've ever seen as far as overall strategy at events like this.
Yes.
Incredible. Doesn't really, he's chosen, like sometimes he chooses not to run up front during qualifying. He will literally just let the race play out in front of him, and his strategy brings him to the front of the grid. So
yeah,
we're about ready to get underway. 1 hour racing at Laguna Seca. Go ahead and give us a rundown at the start, and we are off and running. Green. Let's go.
Green. Around in that last corner with Twitchy up front, Camcio, Syncor coming around, and the countdown is now, so they get to go full speed. And they're off. I'm just checking to see how everyone has done. Everyone looks good. Everyone's off. Nobody's stuck on grid. That's awesome. To your point about Rio starting in 9th, at first I was kind of surprised to see him starting in 9th, but then I thought about it, and the times I've watched Rio, he's very much a fuel saver. So starting in the back kind of helps him out because he gets to draft all the way up the field, and then he's got more fuel than anyone for the home stretch, right? Just ready to take it full speed. So far, very clean start by everyone. Looking good.
Strategy-wise, Rio is one of the best in the business from what I've seen. The rest of the drivers in this field, though, we have a mix. We have some GT SimRacing drivers in here. You guys have always put on really good showing. Tatiana, we have some folks from the league that we basically I don't know. We didn't pull you from because you're still involved. So we have some drivers from your league. Go ahead and talk about your league a little bit because there are drivers all over the internet within GT Sport, and hopefully eventually we see GT7 coming online. It's beautiful. The server's not quite up to snuff yet, but go ahead and just give a little plug to your league as well, because we love seeing drivers coming from other leagues into this and adding to the talent pool that we have here, going for that $1,000 prize that our sponsor, Equity Prime Mortgage, allows us to provide.
Nice, love it. I commentate for a league called GT Champions that was started last year, which is crazy because it feels like it's already been longer than that. We've done 3 seasons so far, just finished up our last one. What can I say about GT Champions? It started out, we had 2 divisions, right? 2 divisions of drivers. Still a pretty dedicated group of people came in from RWB Racing, actually, to start it out. Our last season, we had 4 lobbies. And the only time, they only stopped being full when GT7 came out, of course. So GT Champions has huge interest from a lot of drivers, some very talented drivers, like I said, some people who have made it into this race, who are just elite level strategists and racers. It's really fun. You guys should definitely check it out.
Awesome. And back to the racing action. Right now, we're riding on board with Ace Rio. He is a multi-time race winner in the Alpha Cup with us, choosing to do what he does, start in the back, let the race unfold in front of him. As always, he's typically in a Corvette. He seems to be a Corvette specialist. We're missing Corvette specialists that have been with us in the past. Bipolar, not even joining us for qualifying. I think Bipolar Express is traveling right now for work. That's probably why we don't see him here today. Unfortunate incident with Bipolar in the last event, had a disconnect during the race. While running second, gutted, painful, absolutely terrible. Spoke with him after the event, and you know, he wasn't exactly the happiest person in the world when I talked to him after that disconnect. But really, really talented group of folks here. Ace Rio, we can, I think, look forward to seeing him march to the front. But right now, out front, we have Twitchy, followed by Comsio GT, and running in third is Syncor right now, going up the hill to the corkscrew. Oh, getting a little wrong there, getting a little wrong, way off in the dirt, turning that Volkswagen Beetle into a tractor there for a second.
Oh yeah, managed to get it woed up in time for the corkscrew though. I was afraid of that.
Yeah, it's not easy to get those things. When you get them out in the dirt like that, it is not easy to get a GT car slowed down. Doing a good job just to keep that underneath him, but right there, under attack by the BMW right behind him now. So
yep.
We're on board with Syncor, as Syncor is basically showing that Beetle of Comsio as much front end of another German mark as he possibly can. Going over
big front end.
The front stretch that I was talking about. Yeah, that BMW is a big car. They don't call it the whale for nothing. They don't. In real life, it's formidable. It's really that and the Bentley in real life. When you see and you're like, oh, they're huge. it's and the fact that they're as nimble as they are in real life is
they are. It's crazy. I watched one of the Bentleys hip check an R8 LMS coming into the last corner at Bathurst a few years ago during the 12 hours, and I mean, it was like the slightest touch. Sure, you're on the edge there, but when I tell you that Audi went flying.
Yeah, it's not hard to believe. I mean, the Bentley and the BMW is huge. This year they've gone, in IMSA anyway, they've gone to M4s, I believe. So
yes, so smaller.
A little better car. Back to the racing at hand, though. We're on board with, I can't read it because I'm on a small screen in a hotel room. Who are we on board with, Tatiana?
That is Hikram. Did I say that right? Hikoram, sorry. In the Peugeot, chasing down a Corvette. That Peugeot's really nimble. I don't drive it much at all. I like the 4C better, which is very similar, but they're small 4-cylinder turbo GT3 cars, and they're all about handling. No top speed to speak of, but handling-wise, like, they're the closest to go-karts that you'll get outside of the Beetle in this class.
And I have a soft spot for all things Italian, and especially all things Italian and GT car. They make me happy. That 4C is a beautiful little car. No representation here today, but we have had some 4Cs run with us in the past, and they ran really well. On board right now with Comsio, still running in P3 in that Beetle. Syncor actually took second away from Comsio there.
Did.
About a little over 6 minutes into this, and the tire wear, like we said, the tire wear and the fuel consumption very, very high, and we will see green flag pit stops throughout this event. Strategy is going to play a very big role in this as we move deeper and deeper into the event. On board with Syncor, going through the corkscrew there, we can see just off in the distance is Twitchy running out front, running through that left-hander, big bank corners. That Subaru wide body, I love that car, man.
It's gorgeous.
If I could grab that car and put it on the street, I think I might have to do it. And it's a beautiful livery on that car too.
It really is.
Ooh. Got on the power a little early coming off the final corner there, doing a little drifting. This is not Formula D. This is not rally. I mean, he is in the WRX, right? So maybe a little rally cross thrown in. You never know. You never know.
You never know. I mean, in this class, it's only rear-wheel drive, which is kind of a shame because this all-wheel drive would be a killer, honestly. But they did try to keep it within the spirit of FIA's GT3, which is all rear-wheel drive, I guess. But yeah, he's running away. 1.8 seconds up the road, from what I can see. He's out of there.
1.8 seconds with over 50 minutes to go, and all of the strategy that's going to play into this, though, Tatiana. 1.8 seconds right now. Definitely can't call it just yet. Things are going to change drastically as we go through this.
Absolutely.
We're showing Red Spectre in 8th right now. Red is always fast in those Corvettes, and you never know. And I think he's running, he's Lightning McQueen today. So, he's going to channel a little bit of cars and see what he can do there. Rio right behind him. in a Corvette,
In a Corvette as well.
So those cars could hook up on that front stretch, get a little bit of draft going, and I would imagine Corvette on Corvette draft is a good thing.
It is. It punches a big hole in the air as well. And then you already short shift it just to keep it in a power band. It's very torquey, so you can really, really short shift that thing in the slip. Like, you can shift it before you even see the bar start coming in, and you'll still stay fast in it.
Yeah,
so
in real life, watching those cars race in real life, it always sounded to me like, I was like, okay, well, why aren't you just wind it up more? Like, they sound almost flat in real life. It's
also you're running a diesel, it's like 5,500 RPM is the most you're gonna get out of it. But that's not the case.
We have the chip set at 4,700 today. We're gonna conserve as much fuel as possible, and we're gonna operate in an RPM range from about 3,600 to 4,700, and that's what they sound like. It's crazy. The Camaros running in IMSA as well, they sounded the same. And speaking of V8s running in real world, the Lexus sounded even flatter than that. The Lexus sounded like it ran at about maybe 3,000 RPM max. Like,
wow,
it sounded like it had no RPM whatsoever. As we're talking about real world stuff, back on track here at Laguna Seca, Red Spectre and Rio going at it, man. Rio looks like he kind of wants to find a way by Red right now.
I was just paying attention to that. Like, it doesn't look like he just wants to chill.
No, it really doesn't. It looks like he's showing Red some bumper, left and right side, showing him a little headlight, saying, I'm right here. And Rio is also very good, as are everyone in this race, at trying to force the mistake. Like, right there.
Yeah, because here we are.
On the rear end. Let's see if Rio chooses, does not choose to draft with a Beetle.
Oh, nice.
Gets on the inside and makes the pass. Now trying to go under into turn one, trying to go under Red. And now the winner of all that is the number 18 M&M's Volkswagen Beetle. How did that happen?
Rio tried to go on Red and kind of tapped Red, and he backed out of it to give the position back, is what I'm seeing here. Red doing a good job not to give Rio any draft. You saw as soon as he made the pass on the Beetle, he pulled out in front of the Beetle. He's like, I'm not giving Rio draft at all. He pulled off the racing line just to take that one little advantage, and looks like it worked out for him.
Absolutely. And everybody in here knows, everybody knows Rio good enough to know if you let Rio go, Rio is gone. Like, once he's in front of you, it's very hard to do anything with him. And unbelievable job of keeping Rio at the back of this three-car train here. A Beetle sandwich, basically. I don't know what Beetles taste like. We have Corvette bread, and the Beetle is the meat in the middle of that sandwich right now.
Tastes like M&M's.
Did it say? Okay, so it's like a chocolate sandwich.
Right.
It's a sandwich that doesn't melt in your mouth. Oh, it does melt in your mouth, not in your hands.
Not in your hands.
Oh, if we could get some Nutella, I'd do some Nutella right now.
I'll do a lot for Nutella. I really will. It's kind of shameful.
What would you do for a Klondike bar full of Nutella?
Not as much as I would do for Nutella. Rio looking to dive in again in turn one, up underneath both Haderlad and Spectre. I don't know that move was going to work out. It's pretty low percentage, but if anyone's going to pull it off, it would have been Rio.
Gonna go ahead and give a shout out to Haderlad as well. Hader has always raced with us on a gamepad. I don't know how anyone does this at that level on a gamepad that consistently. I'm sure there might be another racer or two that's in this main event running gamepads. There may be, there may not, but the amazing thing to me about Hader has always been the smoothness. You don't see a whole lot of twitch coming from that Beetle, and he's figured out how to just be so subtle and delicate with such a small area of movement on that gamepad. Just absolutely incredible to watch.
Yeah.
The precision, because it's a lot easier to be precise with a steering wheel for sure, at least in my
It is. But like, I think doing it with gamepad adds just a whole new level of difficulty to it. I will say that going from gamepad to a wheel was very difficult for me. When I think about it, the gamepad was a little bit more engaging because it required so much fine muscle control, and you had to concentrate that much harder to be smooth, or else it was going to be ruined,
Absolutely. Angelov coming in for the first pit stop of the event with a little less than 13 minutes into the event, taking fuel in that Corvette right now, just put some tires on. I can't see on my tiny screen with my old eyes. Tati, did you see what tires that Angelov switched to there? I couldn't make it out.
He is on the softs right now. We just missed Rio making a pass on Hatterlad, by the way, into turn 1. That same dive. But yeah, he switched to the softs. Angelov did.
All right, so Angelov, first pit stop of the race, a little more than 13 minutes into this 1-hour event. Rio making a little bit of a move, getting past Hatter. Hatter falling back a little bit in that Beetle right now. So right now we have 2 Corvettes absolutely trading paint, racing
Fighting hard. Yeah.
Keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. 2 Beetles right behind them trying to make their mark for Germany there. The Beetles doing everything in their power to get by Rio. It's mid-pack, but it's exciting racing, y'all. That's one thing that GT Sport has always given us here at the Alpha Cup. That is incredibly exciting racing, and
might not be mid-pack for long as the whole front stretches. The front pack is pitted.
Everyone's in the pits. Everyone's in the pits from the front, and here we go. We've got some mix-up on track. Legion, is that? Nope. That's Twitchy. Twitchy in the pits with that beautiful WRX. That livery is gorgeous. And fuel going into that Subaru, taking off out of the pits. Where is he going to rejoin? Looks like he's going to rejoin possibly P7. P7. So we have our first shakeup of the event, and also took softs back on board with the Peugeot of eRacing. Is it eRacing? I don't know, and I'm sorry. It's the Peugeot. eRacing?
We're going to ask everyone how to pronounce their name before the next race.
Well, Erakram, and if somebody that is listening to this can comment in the chat, we'll do everything in our power to correct it immediately.
Yes, thank you. Big mix-up here. Everyone started the race on softs, and seeing how everyone has so far kind of jumped back on it, I think that might be the tire of the race. And Rio and Spectre are still going at it very hard, by the way. Literally just side by side through the corkscrew, almost still side by side coming into the second to last corner as well. I'm curious to see how they do turn 11. One of them's got to pit. Yep, Spectre is gonna go in and pit, just get out of that traffic because they're just slowing each other down at this point. Spectre jumps in with 4% fuel left in that Fed, so maybe it was time anyway.
Yeah. I don't think can you even make a lap at the fuel consumption that we have this set at 4%. I think that was. Do it now or suffer the consequences. So
or suffer it. And to our point about Rio, he's still got a quarter tank of gas left.
That doesn't even make sense. That
doesn't calculate, does it?
Make sense.
Does not compute.
Yeah, it's like his right foot is from another planet. I don't really understand how you conserve that much fuel while fighting that hard, because there was no let up in fight. But he was, for the vast majority of that stint, he was drafting. And he was drafting, he was probably pedaling it, going down the straightaways, and just using that toe to actually save fuel. Now he gets to go out and do what we see so much in Formula One. He gets to go out for this last lap or two and get as much time out of that car as he possibly can, and possibly make up a couple positions in the pits when he comes in. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go at least a lap, if not 2 or 3 laps further than most of the rest of the field.
I think so too. He's managed to save his tires way better as well. I think his brake bites are probably thrown way to the rear. The rear tires have worn more than his fronts on this car. He could go out another couple of laps and he'd be running faster laps than everyone who came in on dead tires and less fuel. So if he doesn't make the pass in the pits, he'll just make it on these in laps.
Do we need to put the alien clause in?
We do.
Rule.
If there is such a clause, let us please.
Good at conservation. He is unbelievable run so far. Coming up on about 20 minutes down, coming up on about 40 minutes left in this event. We've seen round 1 pit stop, so that means most folks are probably on a 2-stopper, potentially a 3-stopper, depending on their fuel consumption. And we'll see how this thing plays out over the next 40 minutes. Right now, up front, Ace Rio, no surprise to any of us in the broadcast booth, including Ryan, our super producer. All of us basically going, yep, Yep, that's expected.
out.
See who can bring the fight to him. Right now, we've got Twitchy running P2, and I will let you go down the rest of the running order, Tatiana. And after that running order, I think it's about time to break for our first commercially event. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone tuning in here today for this event. And I'd like to say thank you to Polyphony and Sony, because GT Sport's still gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Give us that rundown, Tati.
It absolutely is. Well, Twitchy's back up in a second after the pit stops, and he's 3.5 seconds down from Rio, so he'll retake first once Rio pits. He does still owe us a pit stop. Snykor in third, Angelov in fourth, Kemsio in fifth, Hirkram's coming in sixth, Legion in seventh. All of these people are passing Chrism, who's just pitted with 1% fuel left in that Beetle. Talk about calculating it to the wire. Spectre sits in 10th place, and I believe will take 9th from Chrism. Yes, it's already happened, and Hatterlad is rounding out the back of the field right now.
And with that, thank you for that rundown, Tati. With that, I believe we're going to toss it over to Mr. Ryan Bauer, Mr. Bearded Sim Racer, our super producer extraordinaire, and Ryan is going to run our first commercial of this event. And again, thank you to Equity Prime Mortgage for making everything that we do here at the Cup level at the eRacing Association possible. If you'd like more information about the eRacing Association, you can check us out on www.eragaming.gg. You can find our Alpha Cup, Omega Cup events. Alpha Cup is obviously GT Sport. Omega Cup is iRacing with Gen 7 Cup cars. And we also do Mario Cup events because we love Mario Kart. It's fun. Hop in.
Necessary.
Check out the skill set that's involved. Ryan, go ahead and roll it, sir.
It means a lot to have this opportunity to race full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
We're reaching a community that needs to be transformed in terms of unlocking their mental potential with this opportunity with EPM.
The American gift is right here. It's embodied in this opportunity. It's embodied in all of us. It's not a dream, it's an opportunity. This is America, and everything is possible.
I'm just super happy and proud to be part of this whole team and this organization and everything we're going to do from here on out.
When you put that combination of talent, hard work, and opportunity together, it lends itself to be something great. And I look forward to seeing what it matures to.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody out there. Very grateful that we get to do this, we get to have fun, and more importantly, that we're all going to make a difference together. Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Laguna Seca. Thanks so much for tuning in today to watch this Alpha Cup event from Laguna Seca. Right now, out front, Twitchy running that Subaru, looking good with that wide body going down the hill through the corkscrew, leading the pack. While we're at break, we had Rio coming to the pits. Tati, you mentioned he was coming down the hill from the corkscrew, literally on fumes.
Yeah.
So did actually run that Corvette. What was that, 2, maybe 3 laps long?
He ran it to about the 40-minute mark, which calculates to a 2-stop strategy for him. With a lot of people going to do 3 stops.
A lot of people are going to do 3 stops unless they went out and truly just sent it during stint number 1, and they have some fuel conservation on tap for the rest of the event. It's hard to say at this stage, but we've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll try to stop saying it, further along in this broadcast, but Rio's an alien when it comes to fuel conservation and tire preservation. It doesn't make sense how he does what he does. And I don't know we're going to see any of the other racers be able to run quite as long as we've seen him run that Corvette, but you never know. Everyone in this field is capable of running up front. Everyone here ran incredibly well during the qualifying heats yesterday. And right now, we are on board with, I'm going to say Hero-Cram. I hope I'm right. We're on board with that Peugeot, and Hero-Cram is trying to chase down that Beetle right in front of him. They're running up the hill to the corkscrew. Unbelievable racing throughout the field, as GT Sport always provides. There's always a battle, Tatiana. There's always a battle to watch.
Always something, and that's the best part about GT Sport. You know, we had online racing in 5 and 6, but GT Sport is really what gave us that close bumper-to-bumper racing. And of course, you'll still have some lag here and there, but you can race with someone and literally trade paint and know that you're not actually knocking them off track, but it just doesn't look that way to you. It's been amazing. This game will go down as an absolute icon. I'm kind of sad that we're leaving it. This is my last time calling a race in GT Sport.
I'm sad that we're leaving it too, but from what I've seen out of GT7, and I know that there are a lot of things about GT7 that a lot of people are having some issues with. I get that. But
sure.
On the other side of that, physics model in GT7, from what I've felt so far, I've played it on gamepad and I played it on wheel. Physics model, incredible from what I've felt. The only thing that I have an issue with physics-wise, some of the vintage cars feel quite weird. Most of the modern cars feel absolutely incredible. I know there's some issues with servers right now. I know we're seeing increased lag and some warping in and out that we are not seeing in GT Sport. And that's literally, I believe, I don't know, obviously, we don't work for Sony, we don't work for Polyphony, we don't know, but more than likely, the GT7 servers are a brand new server bank, more than likely.
Probably.
And I believe what we're seeing is them fine-tuning the GT7 servers to deal with the new lighting and the changes to the cars and some changes to the way that they actually set up and run events. It will sort itself. It always has. GT, since they've gone online, they have provided incredible online racing no matter where you're at in the world. If I'm sitting here and someone's in Australia and Tati, you're in Atlanta, we can have a good race together, and that will progress over to GT7. The other side of that also is, as beautiful as GT Sport is, and it is absolutely stunning.
GT7 looks even better.
GT7 looks better. How do they do that? How do they do it? The lighting engine in 7 is spectacular. Couple that with the ability to actually throw in rain, day-night-day transitions. We're going to have a lot of fun with the Alpha Cup once we transition to 7, and go ahead and I'll say it right now. Go ahead and prepare for the rain.
Get ready.
Go ahead and prepare for darkness.
The weather is truly variable in that game, which I love. I missed that in GT6.
It's so good. It's so good. We could sit here and talk about GT7 probably for the rest of the broadcast, Tati.
We could. Ryan, can you show the audience Rio and Spectre right now? They have been trading positions. It has been fierce. It's still happening.
Go ahead and give them a little play-by-play on that, Tati.
Head
over to the chat real quick and see whether anyone in the Facebook chat on the live stream is actually in there and commenting. I'm going to jump over there.
No problem. The play-by-play might be a little ahead of time because I'm watching on my own PlayStation, but I just saw Rio dive into the corkscrew ahead of Spectre and make that move stick. Rio actually took more fuel than anybody in that pit stop except for Chrism. So Rio is definitely going for the long haul, where most people are taking about a half tank of fuel or so, but he's still feeling a little bit impatient behind Spectre. Made the pass, and now he's about to run away from him right here. Rio moving up the order. I think that battle might actually be over. We kind of missed the bulk of it, but there were at least 3 position changes during that. Up front, Twitchy running all alone, no man's land. He's got 5 seconds to the next car back, but he's about due for a pit stop here. Looking at the fuel, Syncor is running behind in second. Also has a good cushion to the car behind, about 3 seconds for Syncor to Camcio. Camcio has been under attack by Hero-Cram pretty much his whole time since we took the last pit stops. But Hirocram jumped in. So Hirocram is going to jump out of that battle, maybe look for an undercut. That makes sense to me. He's still got plenty of fuel, still got tires, but I'm sure he's just getting slowed down, running behind another car there. So he's jumped in. Twitchy also had jumped in. Angelov is now also in the pit. So everyone jumping in about every 15 minutes, which makes sense. That's what I did a little bit of testing the other night, maybe 20 minutes worth, and I got about 15 minutes out of a tank of fuel in the Corvette, and that was without fuel saving or anything. So with race pace, with folks here, that makes a lot of sense to me. Rio, however, is on an every 20-minute pit strategy, which will mean he's only doing a 2-stop compared to most people's 3-stopper. Twitchy's gotten ahead of Hatterlad. Sorry, not Twitchy. Rio has gotten ahead of Hatterlad now. So Rio sits in 4th place as people pit in and out. Somebody's coming out of the pits now, and that might affect this battle. It was Hirocram, and he comes out just ahead of Rio. So Rio, instead of having clean air to Twitchy, who was about 5 seconds up the road, comes out right behind Hirocram. Hirocram's got fresh tires on, though, so that might not be a problem for Rio. We might not have any issues with him being slow. Here's hoping. What else has happened since this latest pit shuffle? It's still happening. Camcio is now in. Syncor is now in. See differing amounts of fuel on both of those cars. Syncor goes in with 6% of his fuel left. Camcio with 13% of his fuel left. That matters. That matters. Those seconds that you spend in the pits adding more fuel are enough for you to lose a position or even two coming in and out.
Absolutely. I'm sitting here looking at Kempsey's pit stop right now, coming in with that much fuel left in the tank, not stretching that all the way to the end, definitely forcing a 3-stop strategy for the cars that are doing that. And the 2-stop strategy, obviously, how many seconds are you saving by cutting that 3rd stop off the equation? And that's where we've seen a couple drivers in our other Alpha Cup events actually go from mid-pack or further back straight to the front for that final stint by saving those tires, saving that fuel as much as possible, getting in that slipstream, just pedaling that throttle ever so slightly. It's amazing how much fuel you can save, Tati, over the course of a stint just by just a little lift here and there, a little lift. Not
and
quite.
It's sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Absolutely. Jump in.
I was going to say it's totally worth it to skip that last pit stop. The pit stop is going to be at least 30 seconds. And to put that into perspective, from 9th place to 1st is only 15 seconds. So even if you're sitting in 9th or 10th, if you can knock off an extra pit stop, you're going to beat 1st place.
Yeah, that's how quickly this can turn. And this is a 1-hour race. We're running so much tire wear and fuel wear just to add to what these drivers have to deal with. They have to calculate that strategy. You know, do I want to try to conserve? Do I want to run a 2-stop? Am I okay with running that 3-stop and just putting my foot to the floor and burning that fuel off and killing those tires as as I possibly can, just for the sake of maximum attack and maximum lap time? We'll see how it plays out as this thing goes down to the wire. We're halfway through, Tati. We're already halfway through, 28 minutes and some change left in this event. And right now we are on, well, we're not on board with Hatterlad. We are floating around Hatterlad's pit crew, waiting for that Beetle to come down pit road. You gotta love the brown and orange there on that pit.
I love that. Yeah, I've never seen that.
It's all about the M&M theme here with Hatterlad today. We've got some brown and orange pit crew. Now I'm gonna have to leave the hotel room, and we were gonna leave the hotel room and go get a really good lunch, but now I just want a bag of M&Ms. I can't help it.
That's all you need. That's all you need. I can't believe we're halfway through. The race is going by too quickly. You need everyone to slow down, please. To your point about putting the pedal to the metal and using up all that fuel, I think a lot of people don't have a choice. Conserving enough to take off a whole pit stop when everyone is doing 3 it's a skill. It's not easy to do, and to stay with the pack, that is, right? You still have to stay within spec. You have to stay within a certain amount of seconds from first. Rio, who was trying that, just took a 1-second penalty, by the way. He jumped down the corkscrew rather than driving down it. It was kind of a launch and landing.
Not the optimal line. Not
the optimal line. However, I have seen where if you jump it just right and you land back in track limits, you don't get a penalty. I'm not saying you should try it. Just saying it can work.
We're not condoning the shortcut in any way, shape, or form. In fact, if
You didn't hear that.
if we were on a crew where the driver was attempting that, we would be on the radio to that driver immediately going, respect your control arms.
Cut it off.
Respect your suspension. Stop it.
Yes, please.
And also, respect your spine. If that was a real race, compression fractures are real, ladies.
They are. And what's the corkscrew? It's a 2-3-story drop. It's more than that.
Oh, it's more than that. Yeah, it's
10,
more than
I
that.
think.
I think it's like 8 to 10. It's a big
because
drop.
I'm thinking about seeing it in person when you sit like in front of the corkscrew and it's right in front. Like it looks like a cliff face almost that these cars are driving down. It's spectacular in person.
We actually set up a photo shoot on the corkscrew years ago. I was working with SRT. We set a bunch of Vipers up on the corkscrew, and we were shooting down the hill and up the hill at a bunch of Vipers.
How many did you fit?
We had 3. There was a little bit of contact there between Comsio GT. Looked like he got into the back of Rio there just a little bit. Little love tap. No harm, no foul. No one spun. No drafts changed.
It's a bump draft.
In honor of NASCAR weekend, we get a little bump draft in here at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, bump draft in the braking zone.
I am impressed with the draft that Beetle gets off the back of that Corvette. It's very odd to be saying that the Beetle has much more, frontal area. I would think would be less aerodynamic as the Corvette, but we just saw a very nice pass by Comsio GT on Ace Rio there, and that was the pass was not a result of the bump. There was a bump, there was a back off, and then there was a re-attack, and on that re-attack, Comsio taking over 4th position. Here we go. We've got a replay here, so we'll. Nope. We had to bail on that replay. Didn't get to the replay quite quick enough, but I think I gave you a pretty good play-by-play on that one, though.
I think you did a good job there.
Yep, Comsio sitting 4th place, going down the corkscrew. Rio right behind and towing that Corvette. So we have 4-cylinder German versus 8 cylinders of Fury in a Corvette right now.
Power!
This battle is real.
Power! Talk.
Power.
That's my best Jeremy Clarkson.
That wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad?
It wasn't.
I'm working on it.
It wasn't bad at all. No, I kind of like it.
Great.
Now we need.
Let's be honest. This is probably where Rio wants to be. He's got to stretch that tank out until the 20-minute mark. He's got 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah, if Rio can actually slot him behind, well, there you go. The Beetle has a giant frontal area. I am not entirely sure how Gran Turismo Sport deals with the physics of the draft. I don't know if they're actually taking into account the full frontal area of a vehicle as it throws air up and over it, or whether it's a set equation that is across every car.
That's such a good question.
Some titles are that specific where it's car based, and some titles are literally the draft is this, and it doesn't matter what car that you're driving. I don't know how GT actually deals with that, but I'll do some research because I kind of want to know now.
I want to know too. You know what? I'm very close friends to some serious GT nerds, and that is one thing that they have never mentioned to me about being taken into account. I would think that they would know. We're talking about world tour people who get to sit there and talk to Kaz about the game, right? But I do wonder if it does take that into effect. That would be awesome. Rio's actually losing to Camcio. I think Rio may be in fuel save mode.
He's in fuel save mode. He's in tire save mode. He's trying to do what we were talking about earlier. He's trying to get down to that 20-minute mark. If he pulls into the pits right now, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. If he is forced to pull into the pits. Where's he sitting right now, Tati? You can see where's he sitting on fuel.
He looks pretty good on fuel. It's a little less than half a tank little less than a quarter tank left. He should be able to make it to the 20-minute mark, no problem. His tires don't look that bad, so I'm wondering if he's gonna take it past the 20-minute mark even. He's 14.7 seconds behind Twitchy, so he's still on track to jump first place if he skips a whole pit stops. Twitchy, however, took a good amount of fuel, and I don't think he's going to pit anytime soon.
Probably not. Again, we see Rio basically right on the edge of keeping the car on track coming down the hill at the corkscrew. I think that was more of a netcode thing. I think that was what we saw there right when that camera went back to Rio coming down the hill at the corkscrew. It looked like he just lawn darted the front end of that Corvette into the pavement about halfway down the corkscrew, but obviously no harm, no foul. He continues on at full chat, and Rio doing everything he can to get another lap or two out of that Corvette here and take him under that 20-minute mark, and that way he knows he can bring it to the end. But another thing, I'll just bring this up. We have seen Rio at the end of these stints have to go into major fuel conservation mode.
We have.
In order to stretch it that far. So going into that major fuel conservation mode with 3 or 4 laps left, when this thing actually does wind down, is he going to be out front enough?
That's actually why I was thinking he's conserving fuel to take it past the 20-minute mark. It's the only thing that made sense. He has plenty to make it to 20 minutes, but if he wants to go beyond that, he probably could, and I would think that would be to ensure he has enough fuel for the end, even if it comes to a battle.
We shall see. We shall see. This thing is winding down.
I kind of hope it does. I like the drama.
Birds. I love the drama. I love the drama, and I love the fuel consumption and the tire wear that we set for these 1-hour races adds that you have to calculate the strategy. You have to do all of that on the fly. You have to really be cognizant and situationally aware of what all of the other racers are doing. And you could actually modify that on the fly. You can start the race with a plan. I think it's, I can't remember the exact saying, but there's basically you go into battle with a plan and knowing that you're more than likely, as soon as the green flag drops, going to have to modify that plan and multiple times between initial green flag and checkered flag. And as we play out this hour here at Laguna Seca and the Alpha Cup, we're coming up on that 20-minute mark. I think we're going to turn it back over to Tati. You can give us a field rundown, and then we're going to turn it over after you do that to our producer, Ryan Bauer.
Yeah.
And Ryan Bauer will run a couple commercial spots, and then we will bring you all the way to the end of this thing. So, Tati, what do we see here as far as the field order?
We see a field that is fairly spread out, but maybe coming into their last pit window in about 5 minutes here. Twitchy's up front by 8 seconds ahead of eRacing. eRacing, though, has never really been far from a podium position. He's sitting in second there. Syncor in third in that M6. I think Syncor is pretty much always in third, except when he was behind Camcio. That twin-turbo V8 has been working for him. Camcio in fourth. 6.3 seconds ahead of Ace Rio, who is pitting. He did not make it too much further than the 20-minute mark. He's in right now for his last stop. Legion is sitting in seventh place and probably will take that from Rio. Hatterlad is in 8th in the M&M. Beetle, the audio muted, sits in 9th place in their WRX. Been a quiet race for them. The Spectre, Red Spectre rather, in 10th, but under attack by Chrism, or maybe... Yeah, definitely under attack by Chrism. Chrism, side by side with them, makes a pass just before 6th place. So now Chrism's actually in 10th, Inspector's in 11th, and that's our rundown.
There you go. We're about ready to take a break. Right before we take that break, Ace Rio in the pits. We've talked a lot about him. We're talking about him for a reason. He has won a couple of these Alpha Cup events with us so far. Let's see if the strategy plays out for him today. Coming back out of the pits, fueled up, new tires on. A little over 18 minutes
Almost
ago.
a full tank.
Yep, we know he can take it to the end. Let's see if he can take it to the end at pace. Coming out of the pits, Hatterlad in front of him right now in that M&M's Beetle. And with that, we're going to go to our final ad break of the event, and we'll be back on the other side to bring this thing to the checkered flag. Take it away, Ryan.
Can't wait.
you struggle finding someone to race with, someone to compete with, or flat out someone just to give the Gap sauce, well, you should check out the Gapum app.
Gapum is the only app that will allow you to race people locally, share videos, and attend events.
And after you race, you can actually take your racing video and post it in the Gapum Postum section so the whole world can see. And even if you're not a racer, you can always head to our Gapum app crew mode section where you and some friends can continue to meet up, go to car meets, go to car events, car shows, anything that has nothing to do with going to the racetrack.
Gapum is a one-stop shop for the car world.
Looks like I just got a match on the Gapum app. Time to serve someone some Gapple beans.
Ready, set, Gapum.
We are back. A little over 15 minutes to go here at Laguna Seca for this round of the eRacing Association Alpha Cup. Exciting racing has been going on up to this point, and we come back to exciting racing as well. Angelov in that Corvette looking for a way around Hatterlad with brakes glowing and that M&M's Beetle, and Angelov makes the pass, actually makes the pass really well, but Hatterlad coming back on the inside, not giving up. That is good stuff. Solid racing here with just a little over 15 minutes to go. Tati, you were keeping up with everything that was going on while we were at break. You saw things happen there, pits-wise and strategy-wise unfolding. Tati, what did you see while we were at break?
Twitchy came in before the 15-minute mark. Actually, almost everyone has come in up front before that mark. So they may have to do some fuel stretching to make it. Twitchy and others. Rio is sitting in 6th place right now. After the pit stop shuffle, there's at least one car ahead of him that owes a stop. That's Legion. So really, Rio's in 5th place with all the fuel in the world to make it to the end. Whereas some people up front are gonna have to save because they're not gonna get a full 15, 16, some people pitted with 17 minutes left. So it's going to be close at the end, I feel. And I can't wait. What else did I see? I don't remember that I saw anything else that was special or distinct.
Those were the things that could have an impact on the end of the race for sure. Those were definitely the things that could have an impact on how this thing pans out. Right now, Twitchy in that WRX at the front of the field, about 4.7 seconds up, I believe, on Hero Crime. Mm-hmm. And we are sitting in the pits waiting for the audio muted to come in for a pit stop. The audio muted, like you were saying before we went to break, Tati, very, very quiet race. Sitting in 9th place right now, running another one of those Subarus, another gorgeous car. I like black and green, just because Nemesis Lab colors. And for those of y'all, Nemesis Lab, we're here for you. If you need anything simulation-wise, we'd love to talk to you. Yeah, absolutely. While we're at the break, just want to mention real quick, thank you again to Equity Prime Mortgage for making these cup-level events possible. You can go to epm.net if you'd like to check out what they have to offer in the mortgage world. They would love to help you out and empower people more through what they offer the world. Also had a quick look at the Red List Group and Gapum, both companies that one of our founders here at the ERA is also involved with heavily. That is the Red List Group, big time drag racing events on the West Coast, as well as Gapum. Gapum is an app that you can jump in, and there's a whole lot of good drag racing action going on there at Gapum. Check those out. And that is all I'm going to talk about that, because we have just a little over 10 minutes left here in this Alpha Cup event. Right now on board with Ace Rio, we have Angelo behind Rio doing his best to make, again, a 2-car Corvette draft. Lots of Corvettes on track here today, Tati. The Corvette seems to be... The Corvette and the Beetle actually have been the car of choice. Well, I think we have 2 STIs as well. So
the Beetle, great chassis. Yeah, the Beetle STI... Very, very nimble cars. The Corvette, though, is the car you drive if you need some bit of like nimbleness, but you also need to save fuel. The Corvette is so torquey, you can sip fuel, and it's actually a good chassis as far as the front engine V8 cars go. It's not as understeery as any of the others. It's phenomenal to drive. Good brakes too. Like Corvette did that.
Corvette, I've said this multiple times in the real world. Corvette is the absolute performance bargain of the modern era. There's no way around it. Even if you are not a Corvette person, and if you haven't gotten to experience one in real life, find someone that will allow you to get behind the wheel of one. I don't care if it's a C5, 6, 7, or 8.
Oh, man.
And prepare to have your mind blown. Even if you're not into that Corvette crowd, even if you don't want to be, that guy, even if you don't want to go out and buy some New Balance, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a stereotype for a reason. It's
real.
It's
real.
Yeah, it's real. If you don't want to do that though, if you like performance cars, we
have a disconnect. Spectre just disconnected.
No.
Yep. I don't know. I do too, especially so far into this race. We have 11 minutes left. Oh.
Hate to see it. It happens. I mean, it's the best way that I've described that over the years. I think it's just like blowing a motor, or you had a drive shaft go kaboom, or a transmission decided it didn't want to live anymore and took its own life, kind of thing. It's
1000%.
We hate to see it, but it happens. Ping gets high and dropouts happen, and we hate to see you go, Red. Love having you on track here with us. With just a little over 10 minutes to go, though, we're going to turn our attention back to the front of this grid. Twitchy trying to keep that Subaru out in front, followed by eRacing. And in third place, Syncor right now. Comsio GT running fourth, Ace Rio running fifth. And that rounds out the top 5. Ace Rio just switched the camera back to Rio, taking a look. Angelov in that Corvette running alone down the front stretch right now. Legion, where's Legion at? Legion is
sitting in 7th.
Sitting in 7th, coming through the final. Is that the final couple?
Yep, that's the final corner.
There you go, final corner there, coming out onto the front stretch in his STI. I love the STI. I love the way that car looks here. I truly do. Actually, I love the way most of these cars look. And is that what you said, Ryan? Legion is running some Nemesis Lab love here today. Chrism's running Nemesis Lab.
Nice.
Thank you, Chrism. Much appreciated. The love is always appreciated. We're under 10 minutes, Tati. We're under 10 minutes.
We're under 10 minutes.
Go ahead and give us your sum up here. What we've seen so far and what we're getting ready to see on this run to the end. I really thought we'd see Rio closer to the front at this point.
I did too. Twitchy's looking good on fuel. Looking okay on tires, though. Rio's looking better on tires. I don't know that. We still have 10 minutes, and tire and fuel is so high. Like, the wear is so high that I don't want to say that Rio is going to be stuck in 5th, because somebody in front could absolutely kill their tires in the next 6 minutes. And that brings Rio into the fight. But I did expect to see him a little further up in this race. I don't want to call it. It's too early to call anything, to be honest.
I put you on the spot, and you did what all good commentators do.
No cursing.
You
don't want to curse anyone.
No. It wasn't even that. You did what all good commentators do. You basically didn't commit to anything at the stage of the race, and I respect that greatly.
Could be this.
Twitchy holding on to that 4.9ish to 5.0 second gap between him and eRacing right now. I don't know whether Twitchy is managing that gap or.
It looks like he's managing it.
You think?
It looks like. I think he's doing well. I think he's cruising. I don't know about cruising. It might be pushing it. And like, the other reason I can't call it is because luck plays such a big part in racing, even in sim racing, right? We just saw Spectre get kicked off for something that wasn't his fault, probably an internet thing. I mean, it's just like the real world, you know? I just don't know that luck will be on Twitchy's side. We can't say anything until, maybe the last corner we can decide, okay, he's probably going to make it. But you just never, even the last corner will spin you. If you eat too much of that sausage curve, you could think you are home free, but really you're staring at the pit wall now.
Yep, you plan and plan and plan, and then you
adjust.
As things go wrong.
You adjust. And because luck,
as things go wrong.
You do. I wish it were a sport where it came down to skill and equipment, right? Great engineers and a great driver, almost guaranteed to win, but you're not. Racing will take everything from you because luck is part of it. And that's the one part that you can't control is the luck. But racing also gives, right? Racing taketh and it giveth. I was actually talking to a friend about this the other day. We talked about a Formula One race where it was last season. I don't remember where it was, but turn one, lap one, like 5 cars in the front wiped out immediately in this rain race. And that brought Williams, who had not scored points in 2 years, into the points because of that. And my friend said, I don't think that should count. You know, why are they proud of it? Luck is part of racing. It is the third arm. And because luck can take things away from you, you have to accept when it gives it to you and not feel like you didn't deserve it.
Absolutely. I've been racing since I was 4, and
so you know,
I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen the absolute heartache, and I've seen the how did we end up here? You know, we did not have a podium car, and then all of a sudden
we were supposed to lose.
It's like someone just kind of snapped their fingers and went, "You are no longer in 12th."
That's right.
Enjoy the champagne. You never ever know.
You take it when it comes your way, because it's gonna come your way, good or bad. If it's good, you take it, you accept it. That is part of your racing weekend.
And if it's bad, you learn from it. You absolutely learn from it, and you move on. And sometimes it's bad, and you did nothing wrong, and it's bad.
It's a puncture. It's an engine blowing.
Yep. You can't see the little things that have been drugged back out onto the track or left on track from another car in front of you in the real world. Luckily, we don't have things falling off cars here that can actually puncture tires and stuff, because these wide bodies have enough carbon fiber involved to where if you started banging fenders, there'd be shards everywhere.
All over the place.
There'd be tires popping all over the place.
Yeah.
Less than 5 to go. Let's give it a rundown, Tati. Less than 5 to go. I'm going to turn it over to you. Give it a rundown, and we'll take this thing to the end. This is, Yep, we're coming. Can you believe it's almost over? It's almost over.
It was too short. Let's do a 3-hour race next time. I'll be down.
Let's do 24. I'll do a 24-hour Le Mans in a heartbeat. You in?
ERA is paying for the Uber Eats, right? The deliveries. You guys can handle dinner and breakfast and lunch. Nice. Well, 4.5 minutes left. The rundown is Twitchy is running away with this. He's 6 seconds ahead of HeroCram, so that gap has increased. And in fact, the gap to Rio has increased as well. I was just looking at it. Now a 20-second gap. So Rio losing time. Twitchy never mind. HeroCram in second, Syncor in third, Camcio not too far behind Syncor, actually sitting in fourth in that Beetle, though his tires don't look as good as Syncor. It is the Beetle versus the Corvette, and that's a lot of difference as far as handling goes. Rio, like I said already, sitting in 5th place there. He's got a long way to Angelov behind him in 6th, so he could feel pretty secure in that position. Legion sits in 7th place, Hatterlad in 8th, Prism in 9th, and the Audio Muted in 10th. Everyone is pretty widely spread out, actually, except for, Syncor and Camcio. Like I said, they have less than a second between them. Everyone else is looking at like double-digit seconds from car to car, or close to.
That's your grid rundown. Thank you, Tati, for that. We're on board right now with Syncor. Go back to that Syncor shot there, Ryan, if you can. We were looking at Syncor basically seeing the back bumper of that Peugeot of HeroCram in front of him, wondering whether he can actually close that gap. It's a little over a second from Syncor right now to HeroCram. If he can basically run up on him, we always say this as commentators, it's one thing to catch him, it's an entirely different thing to actually make that pass.
It is.
The level of every driver here today is very, very high. These guys behind the wheels here today, incredibly good at what they do, and we know that will be the world's widest Peugeot, if I may be so bold for all our UK friends.
Peugeot. Angelov had to jump in for a splash of fuel.
Did he? Little splash and go at the end there for Angelov. Angelov is, that's what we were talking about earlier. You got to manage that fuel. You got to manage those tires. So at least recognizing that he needed that splash to get him to the end and not sitting out there on track with a lap or two to go.
Ooh, blue flag came up.
Wondering why he couldn't get in. There was a blue flag at there was a blue flag that came up. Where was that blue flag, Tati?
It was at the start finish straight for audio muted. He just got lapped by Twitchy. He actually gave it to him very easily. I was sad about it. I kind of wanted him to slow Twitchy down a little bit. He pulled off into the dust at Andretti, turn 1. So Twitchy lapping the very last driver on the grid. That's how quick he's been over this hour.
Can't
Crazy.
be sad about him doing the right thing, though. The audio muted did absolutely the right thing. Knew that was.
Does he have to
coming up.
move, or does he have to let him pass safely?
He did the right thing.
He
did the right thing. Yeah, he did the right thing. If that was a fight for position, absolutely not. Less than 2 minutes to go, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Fight. But that was the leader coming up on a lap car, and you got to do the right thing, and that's exactly what we saw. So hats off to the audio muted for letting that happen and not affecting
the race,
the outcome of this race. Yeah, absolutely. One thing about me, I'm an endurance racer, and I don't believe in giving laps back under caution flags. I can't stand the lucky dog rule. If you have your car that far out in front in an endurance race, you earned it.
You earned it.
You should get. You have
at least laps. You know, I do like cautions bringing the field back together. I think it makes for great racing. But
as long as it's legitimate caution.
100%. It's not a NASCAR caution. But I picked 3.
Less than a minute to go. Twitchy. Right. We're on board with Twitchy. We're looking at Twitchy and eRacing and Syncor still 1, 2, 3. Less than a minute to go. We're about to see a white flag here. This 1-hour event at Laguna Seca here today for our Alpha Cup is about to come to an end, and Twitchy looking like his tires have had it.
Done. They're not as, there's worse out there. Who was it that I just saw? Somebody is like on the cords. If there were cords to be seen, it's Chrism. Chrism, at least the rear, like that rear left is finished.
If you got your eyes close enough to his left rear, you can see the air. That's never a good thing.
It's escaping.
So here we go. We've got a couple cars across the line already taking the checkered flag. Angelov 7th, Hatterlad coming in P8.
But you just crossed, or not crossed, but just came around the last corner, wagging that tail a little bit for the win. Congratulations, Twitchy.
Twitchy taking P1 here today, and as a result of some things that went down before the race, Twitchy taking P1, and there's also a rule that we're going to put into effect, basically effective immediately, and we're going to call it the Twitchy rule.
Yes.
So Twitchy, congratulations on taking P1 here today. Let's see here. eRacing coming in P2, Syncor coming in P3. We hope those 3 drivers stick around for some post-race interviews. We want to interview the podium. If those drivers have cameras, we'll get them in here. Let's go ahead and give you a rest of the field rundown. Tati, if you can basically run down where everyone finished here today in the Alpha Cup, we will run that down, take a quick break, come back on the other side, hopefully have a couple drivers ready to jump in the booth with us and talk about the hour run they just had here today at Laguna Seca. Tati, take it away.
I can do that. As you said, Twitchy 1, followed by eRacing and Syncor. That is the podium. Then you got Camchio in 4th, Rio in 5th. I lost it. It's already gone. But Legion was in 6th for sure. I don't remember who was behind Legion.
Yeah, it's going to come back in just a second here, Toddy. Right now we're going to let Twitchy have his day in the sun, basically. And Ryan's pulling up those final results for you. And right now, go ahead and give that rest of the rundown. We will take a quick break, and then we'll come back on the other side of that with some driver interviews for you.
Sweet, no problem. So, yeah, Legion in 6th. Angelov took 7th in that Corvette. Hatterlad in 8th. Chrism in 9th. And the audio muted in 10th. What I'm loving here is how mixed up the cars are in the order. Just 2 Beetles together towards the back. But you can just see that there was not one car that was, the OP car. Loved this race. This race is awesome.
Nothing crazy dominant here. Yeah, WRX in 1st, RCZ in 2nd, M6 in 3rd. M6 showing that the Whale has still got some fight in it.
Oh, got it.
Up there in 4th place in a Beetle and then a Corvette. And crazy mixed up field. Awesome to see all the marks, and also awesome to see all of the different flags involved in this race. This is truly an international event, and we thank our racers for for joining us around the world, as well as the viewers of this event for joining us around the world. On the other side of this brief commercial break, we will come back and hopefully get some driver interviews. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Stick around. We'll get the podium in the booth here in just a second. Ryan, take it away, sir.
The EPM mission reads that we are a resource and voice for financial empowerment. The EPM vision, which is connected to the EPM way, is to continue to offer financial service, communication, and assistance to the communities we serve.
What makes us different is our loan officers. They care about the people. Our number one message in this company is the customer. Always do everything you can for that customer.
We as a staff work together as a team, and we also on one page, one goal, to know that the end goal is the other person, which is the home buyer.
The big thing that we want to do is provide financial empowerment to our consumers. The ramifications of not owning versus owning is very vast. So it's really about maximizing your earning potential to build wealth.
Our diversity, it's a large part of what sets us apart. And the way we look at business with an empathic approach, we do care.
I have grown up here. I've pretty much done almost every position here and have just grown and learned throughout the 10 years and been given tons of opportunity to advance. I can't tell you how much this place means to me.
My favorite part of EPM is the relationships that we build. I mean, I see my coworkers more than I even see my family throughout the week. So it's important that we have that relationship with each other. I know that I'm going to work hard with my coworkers, but I also know that I'm going to be able to have a fun time with them.
When you join EPM, it's like you're gaining a huge, giant family. The people here are just funny and amazing.
The 23 fundamentals, or the EPM way, is our new culture plan. They are led by great communication, ethics, morals. All in all, they make us better. They make us EPM. The idea of work and home is truly been blurred. So when our culture plan was created, we wanted to transcend just being in the office.
It's really about being a brotherhood, a sisterhood, but it's still all about one mission and one objective is to make sure that we're not only leading to financial empowerment, but we're growing our communities, we're serving our communities, we're growing our individuals.
Most of the loans we're doing are for families. It's the biggest investment in their lives.
For me to know that every little part that goes into the end goal of home ownership makes a difference, and we're playing a big part of that for that prospective home buyer to have their future home.
There's certain programs that not every lender offers, and we try to offer as many of those programs as possible so anybody could kind of fit the mold with a program that we have and offer that to them so then they could get that purchase done and own a home.
You know, the gold standard is treat somebody how you would want to be treated. I think that's the way people would want to be treated best. They want to make sure that somebody's looking out for their best interest, not yours, not the company, not the industry. So you definitely got to put yourself in their shoes and empathize and make sure you're looking and more importantly, listening very, very generously to what they're saying and what they're trying to accomplish.
It feels amazing to know that my team and I were able to contribute to a prospective buyer having their home. And for that home buyer to finally walk into the doors and have their home is just amazing, and we contributed to that.
It gives you a sense of pride in what we're doing here and gratitude to be able to help out those people get things and achieve their goals as well.
A lot of people talk about care, and the only way to truly care is through showing action and showing what you're doing for them in that moment.
We're able to help people to achieve the American dream, which is home ownership. But it's not just home ownership. That's your home. That's your family. So generations can be there just by one impactful movement that we do.
Welcome back. We've just finished up this round of the Alpha Cup at Laguna Seca today. In the booth with me all day long has been Tatiana Noel. Tatiana knocking it out of the park on her first event with us. We
We did it together.
appreciate you being here with us today, Tati. It has been a very, very good time. Joining us here in the booth is our second place finisher today, eRacing, and we're going to get a proper pronunciation of that name.
We are.
If we've been getting it right, we'll pat each other on the back. If we've been getting it wrong, then we will figure it out and we
Off
will
with our
correct
heads.
that. So let's see here. We got Hero. Is it eRacing? How do you pronounce that? We want to make sure we're getting it right. Congratulations on a P2 today with the Laguna Seca. Great race. Basically, correct us if we're wrong on the eRacing pronunciation. Basically, thank us if we're right, and we'll turn the mic over to you, Hero, and just get your impression of 1 hour on track at Laguna Seca and running that thing up to P2 today.
Yeah, it's eRacing. It's an old Pokemon, as it happens. It came from there years ago. Yeah, it was a fantastic race. I mean, I just saying to the winner before just now, I don't think for a second I was the second fastest driver on circuit, but I picked a car that would go well long term, saved a lot of fuel in the first stint, and it didn't work out at the first round of stops, but in the second round of stops I pulled the trigger and it really paid off. I didn't expect to jump all the way up into second, but that last stint, my God, it was tight. I was running out of fuel like you would not believe. I had to save an extra lap in the last 5 or 6 laps just to get to the finish. So,
wow.
Yeah, worked out well.
Yeah, it was an amazing run. Actually comment on that a little bit more, eRacing. The fuel conservation and tire conservation with the wear and the fuel consumption that we have set for these events is considerable. And we saw at least one driver in Ace Rio that was really set on running a 2-stopper here today, and it didn't pay off. The 3-stopper paid off. So how conscious were you of conservation of both tires and fuel throughout that hour? Was it pretty?
Before you answer that, I want to be fair to Rio here. You jumped up 5 positions with that strat. You started in 10.
True, very true. But Hero finished P2. He did better.
Right.
So we're going to turn it back over to you, Hero. Seriously, how tense was it trying to eke out as much tire and as much fuel as you possibly could? And you even made the comment you didn't think you had a P2 car here today, and you did. So how did you get it there, and how tense was it in order to get the finish that you ended up with?
Yeah, it was tight, really tight. So the first stint was just get it off the first lap clean, sit in the slipstream, save as much fuel every single lap and every single corner. Got to be thinking fuels and tyres. You cannot switch it off for a second because that might be the 1 or 2% that makes the difference. And I say I think we got to the end of the first and the guys around me pitted. I went 1 lap longer. I pitted at the end of my lap with more fuel than some of the people who pitted 2 laps ago. But then equally at the start of the last stint, I left the pit lane with 75% fuel. The guys around me went to 100. I was like, oh no, I've made a mistake here. This is going to be tight. I'd done my calculation, fraction out, but I was like, okay, I can make this work. I've just got to make sure that every single corner and every single turn I do, every single gear change is the right decision. And obviously still balancing the gap to the guys behind. I can't let them get in my slipstream, otherwise it's game over realistically.
It's an amazing run up to P2 in a car that even the driver himself admits he didn't think he had a P2, didn't even think he had a podium in it today, and comes away with P2 and his share of that $1,000 prize here in the Alpha Cup, brought to you by Equity Prime Mortgage. Thank you so much for joining us in the booth here at Crime. Great run today. Great representation. Awesome drive. We hope to see you back for the next Alpha Cup. We're going to go ahead and let you go and resume your weekend already in progress, sir. Great run.
Thank you very much. Cheers, everybody.
With us. We will see you soon. And bringing up to the booth right now, Ryan Bauer, bringing up Twitchy. Twitchy bringing that Subaru all the way home in P1 today. Twitchy, congratulations on that run. Twitchy also, I'm just going to go ahead and address this right now and we'll get it out of the way. Twitchy He's the result of a new rule here. He is the catalyst for a new rule here at the Alpha Cup.
The
and
namesake,
we will actually,
even.
Yeah, we're going to call it the Twitchy rule, just on your behalf. And I'm not making light of it. We're doing everything in our power to listen to our racers, make meaningful changes, to make everything that we do as fair and just as fair as possible, and make the racing better and better and better as we build this thing. We're still in our infancy here. We really appreciate the folks that put cars on track and all of the people that watch all of these events here with us at the eRacing Association. I'm going to stop talking about that, and I'm going to turn the mic over to you, Twitchy. From the green flag here today, you seem to have just dominant pace and performance. I'm going to basically post the same question to you that we just did with eRacing. What was tire and fuel management like out there today? Because that seemed to be a very, very big deal. We saw Ace Rio trying to run a two-stopper. Didn't work out for him this time around. I think just had to conserve too much in order to make that two-stopper work. Were you foot to the floor, to heck with the tires, use all the fuel I possibly can for the whole race, or were you in some conservation mode there too?
Yes and no, a little bit. So I did a practice beforehand, and I was actually planning to do a two-stopper and to do hard, soft stint. And then after that, I was speaking to Rio a little bit. He said a few of the guys are thinking of doing a three-stopper, just with softs and just send it all out. So that got me worried. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna, probably lose a lot more time than what I should if I run the hards. So going into the actual race, I had zero clue of what I was doing with strategy. I saw in qualifying that no one changed from socks, so I just thought, stuff it, I'm going to start on socks and just push as hard as I can. The Subi is actually not that bad on fuel. It can save fuel pretty well with having its power still at its peak almost, which was really good. I think I pulled about a second and a half in the first 5 laps or so, which was all right, which was nice. So I had that bit of a buffer on there. But after that, I think I just put on more softs. I'm like, yeah. I started talking to myself, trying to figure out a strategy to make the softs work. Ended up just getting more softs, and the other guys did too. So I just kind of went with softs the whole time, really. For the third pit stop, I was like, yep, just softs again, because if I go anything else, then they're going to catch me and get more gap on me, and then I have to pit again anyway, because the fuel won't last that long on the race.
So
for the last
sounds like hashtag. It sounds like you went with hashtag full send. Is what it sounds like. You just went with
pretty much.
Let's go ahead and put my foot to the
tires. Yeah.
You talked about having a plan when you go in, and then being prepared to change it.
I had absolutely no plan in general. I just kind of went with whatever happened with the flow. See, I kind of sent it a fair bit, but I didn't send it with the fuel. I saved a fair bit. Like I was shifting it like 60-70% or so, just trying to save a bit of fuel while trying to pull away, which seemed to work. And then on the first and second pit stop, I could actually short fuel up to like 85 to 90%, not a full tank, because the tires were pretty shot after about 10 to 11 laps. We're just not getting the lap times that I was hoping for, and getting the lap times in. That was the same at the start of the stint, obviously, but the other guys seem to be struggling as well with the tires in general. And then come up to the fourth stint, so the third stop. I was thinking, should I do like a hard stint, so I have heaps of tires and do the last what was it, about 18 minutes, and do the last about 12 laps or so, 13 laps on mediums or hard. So I got a bit more tire left on them than the others, because I got that buffer at about, I think it was about 7 seconds or so for the lead. And then doing that, I was just contemplating, should I do hards or should I do mediums? And I try and fuel safe hard, but then they'll be on softs. They'll probably catch me. But the times on softs were actually pretty much the same as what they were if we were on hards. So if you did mediums, after about 8 or 9 laps, the times would probably be less than even hard. So it didn't really seem viable. It seemed just to do the whole 12 laps on softs and just push even with the soft tires.
There towards the end, it did look like you were really having to pedal it. There were a couple times coming off, especially the final corner onto the front stretch, where you were drifting that Subaru. You were having to actually wheel that thing. Heck of a drive today. Tati, any questions for Twitchy, our winner of today's Alpha Cup event?
No, it was clear, I guess, from the jump. I mean, you never were not in first place outside of pit stop shuffling, but even then, you know, the people ahead of you always owe to stop, so you were really up front. Congratulations, great race, great run.
Thank you. I thought actually Ace Ria would be my main competitor, because I did GT Champions a few weeks ago. So he was my main competitor coming into this. I was like, you know, hey Ace Ria, you're my main rival, my main competitor. And he's like, no, should I check out the other guys in SRC? And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, are they fast? And then I saw the qualifying time of like a 19.3. I'm like, that's like a decent time. That's like a really good time for, you know, like the top split of, you know, of the FIA back on GT Sport. So that was a really good time. I was like, oh, okay, you know, I actually have to probably pull out some big guns here and actually put the work in the race. So that's what I did, and I'm just so glad I could come away with the win for Distinct, my team. So
there you go. We got
shout out to them.
We're going to wrap this thing up. We've been at it for almost 2 hours, Twitchy. Congratulations again. Bringing home that Subaru, putting it on the top spot. Congratulations to every driver that put the car on track, or their cars on track with us today. Love seeing that diversity of field. Love seeing so many drivers from so many different places around the world. The competition level that is coming to basically run with us here at the eRacing Association is incredible. You guys and gals that race with us are doing it big. Really, really amazing to see what y'all bring to the track every single time we have one of these events. Tatiana, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up? We're going to wrap it up right at the 2-hour mark here today. Thanks again. Before I turn it over to you.
Sure.
Thank you so much for jumping in the booth with us. Thank you so much for bringing
Thanks for having me.
Your insight to what we do here. Your Gran Turismo knowledge, unbelievably amazing. Love the personality. Love the insight that you bring to what's going on track. Had an absolute great time today sharing the booth with you. And before I turn it over to you to wrap this thing up, I'm also going to thank our producer, Ryan Bauer. Ryan, excellent job as always. He pushes the buttons and twists the dials better than anyone we know. Twitchy, again, congratulations on bringing it home P1. Also, congratulations to the rest of our podium today. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tatiana Noel, and I'm going to let you wrap it up because you've absolutely slayed it today. So
Thank you.
Wrap it up for us. Give us some final thought.
My final thoughts mirror yours. Fantastic racing out there on the track. People were fast. The racecraft was great. Any little like bump or incident I saw, the position was given back. It wasn't a problem. Just all around world-class racing. The production, world-class production. The commentary, world-class commentary. We've had a great time today, and I can't wait to do it again.
You heard it. Thank you so much for wrapping it up there, Tatiana. Ryan Bauer in the production booth for Tatiana Noel. I am Sean Yoder. Thank you so much again for tuning in to these Equity Prime Mortgage Alpha Cup events. Coming up next month, more cup level events with the ERA. You can check us out at www.eragaming.gg. You can see all of the events that we have on tap. We do Mario Kart, we do Gran Turismo, and we do iRacing. We'd love to have you join us, get on track with us. We do every other week. We have some fun runs for members running over on iRacing with the Gen 7 Cup car. Having a lot of fun over there with that. More events on tap. We're going to grow this thing. Thank you to all our racers. We truly, truly, truly appreciate and respect your feedback. We are making changes to make this a better place to race. We're doing everything in our power to make it the fastest place you can race, the best place you can race, the fairest place you can race. I know we're not perfect. We're getting better. Thank you again to Equity Prime Mortgage for helping us bring you these cup level events. You can find them at epm.net. Check them out. If you need anything to do with a mortgage, they are the place to go. Again, I am Sean Yoder on behalf of Tatiana Noel and Ryan Bauer. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to go enjoy the rest of our Sunday. We hope you do the same thing as well.